And good morning. We are back to run our monthly show on being live about NHIF. I have always been your moderator, Phyllis Nyakiba, and we are with Osoro here, and we want to talk about NHIF, and we have 1 hour as usual. So this is your moment to ask your questions, and give us a chance for us to respond and help you. We have our digital team also on board, and they're responding to you as you ask. So, Osoro, probably you just start by introduction, then we see how we can roll out.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate your esteemed support. Without you, we won't exist. Thank you for popping in whenever you see our post and our notification. God bless you immensely. If today is your very first time watching our video, we warmly welcome you especially. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please share and leave a comment at the end of the show. Thank you. Welcome.
Okay. So as you come in, how we do it is that we respond to your questions as we give you more information about NHIF Supercover and any other question that you have. So we have seen already questions are streaming in, which is a good sign. And we can start with Mercy. She's saying she wanted a breast MRI, but we refused to approve. So what are the cases that can lead to that?
First of all, Mercy, thank you for joining us today, and many apologies for rejection of your request. For the radiology package under which we have the magnetic resonance imaging or MRI or computed tomography, CT scan, there are some requisites that you must meet before we approve a procedure. One, there must be preliminary investigations done by the referring consultant, and I would want to underline the word consultant. It's only a consultant who can requisition for an MRI. Secondly, there must be preliminary investigations that were done to warrant the request for an MRI. When we say preliminary investigations, we are talking about an ultrasound, an echo, or any other investigations that have been done that now require further imaging. And they must be attached when the facility that is requesting the MRI through what we call pre-authorization, that is seeking prior approval. So I'll request Mercy to get in touch with the healthcare provider and get, first of all, to establish the reason why the MRI request was turned down. I'm sure the facility can requisition back after attaching the necessary documents, and NHIF shall process his requests.
Okay. So I'm seeing Honorable Sheikh and Bobo asking about contacting us. If you need to contact NHIF, we have a toll-free number, that is 0800-720-601. If the call is not picked because we have a lot of people calling in, you can write to us, or you can DM us. You can send an email on our Facebook page or Twitter page. So we have various channels of reaching us. But in case you are not able to respond, just keep asking, because we have so many members, but we are really trying our best so that we are able to sort each and every one of you. Then we also have the cases whereby members are still trying to update their numbers to their membership card. So can you guide on that?
Yeah, it's very important for members to update their cell phone details with NHIF so that they are captured in our database. It is important when it comes to what we call choice of facility or outpatient services. Remember that NHIF administers 12 benefit packages for members of the Supercover, which include, among others, the outpatient treatment, maternity benefit package, inpatient benefit package, renal dialysis, kidney transplantation in collaboration with the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital and Kenyatta National Hospital, the radiology package, which includes, among others, the MRI and CT scan, the oncology package, which includes, among others, the chemotherapy, brachytherapy and radiotherapy. We also have the rehabilitative package, also referred to as the drug and substance abuse package. And I feel it's for the benefit of our viewers. I've seen during the recent updates by the COVID-19 response team that many Kenyans are ailing from mental illness. Perhaps it's about time we tell them that the good news that NHIF caters for the rehabilitative benefit package, which is the drug and substance abuse package. They can reach out to mental institutions that are empaneled. And when we say empaneled, we are talking of 8,500 facilities countrywide. But for rehabs, we have quite a number that are empaneled across the country. We are talking like for institutions like Mathare Mental Hospital. We are talking of the Catholic institution in Asumbi. We are talking of Nairobi West. We are talking of Chiromolin, that is in Westlands, and many others. The other package that members are entitled to under NHIF is the surgical package, which among others has the major, minor, and specialized organ transplants. We are talking of emergency evacuation or road rescue services. They're also entitled to foreign treatment or overseas treatment, among others. I'll confine myself to the outpatient benefit package, whereby members are supposed to select facilities of choice. The outpatient benefit package that we administer at NHIF is known as capitation. Capitation is a payment mechanism whereby NHIF procures bulk healthcare services for members who will patronize the outpatient benefit packages in advance. It is a requirement for members to select their preferred facility of choice for them to benefit the outpatient benefit package. And the elephant in the room, which I want to demystify this morning, what constitutes the outpatient benefit package? Because it's not enough to select a facility of choice. One must be aware of the scope of services that they are entitled to, which include, among others, general consultation by a medical officer of health, clinician, a nurse, dietitian, a physiotherapist, among others. It includes management of endemic or local diseases. We are talking of malaria, typhoid, and others. It also includes basic laboratory investigations. And I want us to be very clear in our minds. When we are talking of laboratory investigation, what does it constitute? We are talking of hemoglobin, urinalysis, grouping and cross-matching, rhesus factors, blood sugars, malaria parasite slides, stool for ova and cysts, HIV test, CAN test, pregnancy test, sickling test, typhoid, brucella, and among others. Thirdly, we do cater for drug administration and dispensing as per the Kenya Essential Package of Health. Many a time, Phyllis, we get members calling, telling us that they cannot be able to access drugs. I normally say that knowledge is power, and the Bible tells us that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. When we talk of drug administration and dispensing, we are talking, among others, of drugs like antipyretics. We are talking of antiprotozoal drugs, antiemetics, supplements, ENT droplets, and others. It goes further to cover health education. At NHIF, we realize that kuzuia ni bora kuliko kuponya. Prevention is better than cure. And we've emphasized health education, counseling, and ongoing support as needed by the member about lifestyle issues, including nutrition, exercise, weight, use of tobacco, alcohol, among others. The outpatient benefit package also entitles to members for treatment of STIs, that is management of STIs, minor surgical procedures, under local anesthesia as defined by the surgical package. We are talking of suturing and dressing. We are talking of focused antenatal care as defined in the MOH, mother-child policy, postnatal care as defined by the MOH, MCH policy guidelines, Family planning, as also defined by MOH. Immunization, as per the Kenya External Program of Immunization Schedule, including among others anti-snake venom and anti-rabies. Basic radiological examinations like X-ray and ultrasound.
Okay, Osoro, we've really taken us through. I want to repeat the toll-free number for customer service. That is 0800-720-601. If you're not able to get through, you can write us an email, customercare@nhif.or.ke. I'm seeing someone else asking about dates of change of facility. How often do we change, should you change your facility? That is the outpatient facility.
Thank you, and that's a very important question. Choice of facility is done every quarter. When we say a quarter, is every end of the third month, at the beginning of the fourth month, members are entitled to select an outpatient facility of choice. The first quarter commenced in January, all the way up to March, and in April, there was a window period within which members were allowed to select facilities. And remember, this time round, NHIF, in response to our customers' need, decided to take choice of facility or change of facility on the digital platform, whereby members could dial *155# and they could select the language of choice that they are proficient in, either English or Swahili. Thereafter, they could get what we call a one-time password, OTP, which enabled them to log into a database to select facilities of choice for the principal member, his declared spouse, and declared dependents. So for members who have yet to select facilities of choice, I'll kindly make a request that you go ahead, dial *155#, and for those of you who are blessed to have Android phones or Apple phones, you can go to the Play Store and download my NHIF, whereby you'll be able to access my NHIF self-care platform, which will enable you, among others, to select or change your facility of choice, confirm the dependents who have selected NHIF, who are captured in the NHIF database. You can also be able to query the contribution status, and also it will enable you to check the status of pre-authorization that is pending in NHIF, among others. So we humbly request our members to download that My NHIF self-care platform to be able to enjoy our benefit packages.
And I've come to realize, Osoro, if you download the My NHIF app, there is so much that is being asked that you can actually see. You can see the facility you've chosen.
Correct.
You can see the dependents, and you can see your status.
Contribution status.
Yes.
You can see your premiums that you've remitted up to date. In event you've also defaulted paying, you can be able to see the outstanding penalties that are due. And you can also be able to tell the facilities of choice that you've selected, plus your spouse and dependents from our platform.
True.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the go-to app.
Yes.
Okay, Victor is asking, help me, please, I lost my NHIF card. So how does he go about getting another card? Or does he really need a card?
Victor, it's important to have an NHIF card so that in an unfortunate event, either you, your spouse or dependents gets ill, they can use it as a means of identification at the healthcare providers. But in lieu of that, in event you do not have an NHIF smart card, you can also use your national ID card for purposes of identification in any of the 9,000 or so healthcare providers that are empaneled with NHIF. But for replacement of the same, Victor, you can go to the nearest NHIF office or Huduma Center for that matter, pay 100 shillings, and you will be able to get a replacement of the same. Yes.
Okay. So what about advice on if someone needs to change their spouse? How do they go about it?
Yes, at NHIF, we realize that the principal member is the king and he has a right to select the spouse of his choice. For change of spouse, one needs to complete an amendment form that is available at any of our NHIF offices or Huduma Center, but you must attach documentary evidence to support the same. One, it is a requirement that you attach an affidavit that is sworn by a competent commission of oaths, or you can attach a marriage certificate that is issued by any court of law. You can also, if it's the first time you are married, attach a marriage certificate that is even issued by any of the religious institutions that are licensed to issue the same. For change of spouse, that is either through natural attrition, death, divorce, you can attach the necessary documentation indicating the same. For natural attrition, it is a requirement you attach a death certificate that is issued by the registrar of persons. For divorce, you can also attach an affidavit that is issued by a commission of oath.
Oh, that is fine. What about someone who has defaulted? There are two scenarios. One has defaulted in less than a year. There's a person who's asking about 9 months, and someone else who has defaulted for more than a year. What are the two scenarios, and how do you come back on board?
Thank you, Phyllis. That is a very important question, and I want our members to listen keenly. In event of default for a period not more than 12 months or 1 year, whichever comes first, a member can pay the late contributions or premiums for self-employed and the accruing penalty. The provisions of the NHIF Act Section 18 and 19, which caters for voluntary contributions, expressly states that premiums should be remitted to NHIF in a time and manner prescribed. In this matter, the time and manner prescribed is that premiums should be remitted to NHIF on or before 9th of the following month. If you are remitting contributions, for example, for July 2020, those contributions should be in NHIF by 9th of August 2020, failure to which they will attract a penalty. For self-employed persons, 50% or 250 shillings for that matter. For employers who fail to remit in the time and manner prescribed, it automatically attracts a penalty of 25% of the late contributions. For the second scenario, Phyllis, for members who've defaulted for over 12 months or 1 year, they will need to start afresh, whereby they'll pay contributions of a minimum of 3 months, because it will take a minimum period of 60 days or 2 months for the card to mature, during which we have what is known as a gestation period. Okay. Thereafter, the card will be valid for use.
Okay. Grace is asking, how many chemotherapy sessions do you approve and radiotherapy for services from KNH or any other level 5 hospital?
Thank you, Grace. As indicated earlier on, NHIF caters for the oncology package. Under oncology, we cater for the following. We cater for chemotherapy, brachytherapy, and radiotherapy. For chemotherapy, we cater for first line, or what is ordinarily known as primary cancer. NHIF is entitled to cater up to Kenya shillings 25,000 per session for a maximum of 6 sessions. If you were to calculate cumulatively, that translates to 150,000. For second line, or secondary cancer or complex cancer, NHIF is obliged to pay up to 150,000 shillings for a maximum of 4 sessions. So we cater cumulatively for second line up to a total of 600,000, which is sufficient for our members to access comprehensive treatment.
Okay, Nick is asking, if niliregister mwezi wa 3 this year for NHIF, is it possible if it's me and my expectant wife who is due mwezi wa tisa. So that is mwezi wa tatu in March na mwezi wa tisa.
First of all, Nick, congratulations for the newborn that you're expecting. We want to assure you that in NHIF, we have the maternity cover, which caters comprehensively for our members. For normal delivery under the maternity package, NHIF will pay up to 10,000 shillings. For cesarean section, we pay up to 30,000 in NHIF and panel facilities. Nevertheless, we also have the government-sponsored subsidy program, health insurance subsidy program, known as Linda Mama, or free maternity package, whereby your wife can go to any of the NHIF and panel facilities that have subscribed to Linda Mama and register for the same. They'll be entitled to antenatal care, delivery, and postnatal care that is catered for by the government of Kenya. So Nick, take heart. The government has your concern, and NHIF, we shall cater for you comprehensively.
Okay. Then Agnes is asking if the details of her dependents are not are not correct. How does she edit?
Now, we want to tell our brother that that one can be attended to by the member visiting the nearest NHIF office and completing an amendment form. But remember, the member must attach documentary evidence to support the requested amendment. In case of a national ID that is wrongly spelled or the number erroneously captured in our system, it is a requirement for the member to attach a copy of the same. Same case for issues of spelling of the member's dependent's name in our database. It is a requirement that they attach documentary evidence to support the same.
Okay, Tum is asking, in the recent purge done by NHIF, a lot of members who had picked their facility of choice were removed. I think the last change of choice of facility. These are clients who had registered and picked facilities of choice. Why were they removed? I think the understanding is, do I have to choose a facility if I've already chosen one?
Tum, first of all, let me clarify that there was no purge in NHIF. What happened is that members were provided a digital platform through which they could select facilities of choice. And from February up to mid-May, that is 15th May, members were given a democratic right to select facilities of choice. Remember where we've come from. We had challenges in the recent past whereby members had raised concern that some of the facilities where they were capitated were not the preferred destination of choice, and to empower members so that the system could have a system that was foolproof, the management migrated to the digital platform to enable members to select facilities of choice afresh right from the comfort of their phones. This exercise required all members, irrespective of whether you had selected a facility 1 year ago or 2 years ago, to select facilities of choice. Thereby, all members were required to select facilities of choice. Yes.
Okay. So Miriam is asking, why does the approval process take too long? I think she's talking about LOUs.
Pre-authorization.
And what if it's an emergency?
Thank you, Miriam. First, I'll want to shed or demystify the pre-authorization procedure that we do administer in NHIF. The purpose of pre-authorization is for the healthcare provider to seek prior approval of some procedures that they wish to undertake. And it is important for our members to realize that pre-authorization is for their own good. Their own good in the sense that NHIF, as per the mission and vision of NHIF, is to contribute towards attainment of universal health coverage through provision of accessible, sustainable, and quality social insurance for all. And our mission is to be a world-class social health insurance. I'll go back to the mission that the key word is sustainable, prudent utilization of resources. It is important for members to realize that the purpose of pre-authorization is one, to establish the need of medical necessity for the procedures that the hospital wishes to undertake on our member. And I want to say that there are some procedures or benefit packages that require prior pre-authorization. They include, among others, the surgical package, both the major, minor, and specialized organ transplants, radiology, and when I talk of radiology, I imply the MRI and CT scan, overseas treatment, dental and optical procedures for those who are in enhanced packages or the corporate schemes. The oncology package, we are talking of radiotherapy, chemotherapy, brachytherapy, among others. The procedure is the attending healthcare provider, having attended to a member and establishes that he needs to undergo any of the above procedures that I've named, will launch an online pre-authorization request, and they'll be issued with a reference number. Once they launch the pre-authorization request, the turnaround time for the same request should be ordinarily less than 24 hours, but to a maximum of 48 hours. In event, unfortunately, and sometimes because of the workflow, there is an oversight that within 48 hours you have not received your pre-authorization request, you can always engage any of our branches, and for that matter, we are talking of 100 service points plus Huduma centers, or ordinarily you can do an email to customercare@nhif.or.ke, reminding them that your pre-authorization request is still pending, and it will be addressed promptly.
Okay, Osoro. The explanation of enhanced service per cover. Abisai is asking, kindly address the issue of unfair treatment of members. For example, I remit 1,700 every month, yet can't get some services since I'm not a civil servant. And maybe the civil servant who pays less than 1,000 gets better medical services. It's worrying. So probably you explain the difference and how it comes in.
Thank you, Abisai. I want to take this opportunity to demystify the flagship of NHIF, which is known as the Super Cover or the National Health Scheme, vis-a-vis the corporate or enhanced cover that we do administer here. NHIF administers both the Super Cover and corporate schemes. The Super Cover is the flagship or the basic health insurance package that we administer, that has 12 benefit packages that I mentioned earlier on, including inpatient, maternity, outpatient, renal dialysis, kidney transplantation, the radiology package, oncology, rehabilitative, overseas treatment, surgery, emergency road rescue, and others, which members ordinarily remit from Kenya shillings 160 shillings for those in employment up to 1,700, which is the maximum contribution for those in employment. For those in the informal sector, that is Juakali artisans, mechanics, retirees, our parents back at home, and others, they do remit a premium of 500 shillings. Now, I'll come to the point that our brother asked, whereby some members feel disenfranchised. As indicated, the enhanced scheme are corporate schemes that the government procures for its employees. When I say government, we are talking of civil servants, National Police Service, Kenya prisons, government parastatals, state agencies, and others. The first thing I want to demystify is that the premiums that are paid by the enhanced schemes differ significantly from the national scheme. As indicated earlier, for national scheme, the premiums range between 160 shillings rather to 1,700 shillings. For the corporate schemes, the premiums are far much higher compared to the national scheme. To shed some light inside, premiums for national scheme range in the range of from 80,000 or above. So you can see why the difference arises. And the difference is not a lot, because for members of the national scheme, if they patronize Contract A, which are government facilities, Contract B, which are faith-based institutions, and low-cost Contract B facilities, they can be attended to comprehensively. But when it comes to access to high-end premium facilities, then NHIF shall be obliged to cater for the daily hospital rebate, which ranges between 1,000 to 4,000 shillings in the high-end Apex facilities. For surgery, NHIF has signed off the surgical package comprehensively in government facilities and faith-based institutions. If members patronize those facilities, then they can walk in and walk out without paying a single cent. But if they end up patronizing high-end Contract C facilities, which are private institutions that are geared towards profit making, unfortunately, they'll be compelled to top up for services they procure in such institutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is good, good explanation. I want to encourage you, if you're calling the toll-free number and it's not being received, I think we're receiving a lot of calls. So I also want to encourage you, you can write us an email at customercare@nhif.or.ke. Alternatively, you can DM us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Our team is online and they're responding as we talk. Then I wanted to, someone is asking Osoro, the issue of cards. They have not been able to get cards, and I've seen quite a number of questions on this. How are they able to access services if they don't get cards?
Yeah, a very important question. It is not the end of the road if you do not have a physical smart card. As I mentioned earlier on, there are various forms of identification when you visit any of the NHIF empaneled facilities. One, you can use your national ID, which is an alternative form of identification. Secondly, you can use a certified printout from the NHIF branches of Huduma Center that is signed and stamped by the respective managers or heads who are based in those institutions. So the smart card, of course, is the primary identification key, but the national ID can also suffice. Without a smart card, you can still be able to access our NHIF benefit packages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and in cases whereby someone has defaulted, I've been seeing a lot of people who have defaulted who want to come back, and I want to keep repeating this because we want to welcome them back to NHIF.
Yeah.
How do you go about it? What is the payment process?
Now, in unfortunate event, you have defaulted remitting your contributions, NHIF provides a window of opportunity to redeem yourself. As I mentioned earlier on, if the period of default is less than 1 year, you can remit outstanding contributions plus the accruing penalties. And there are various means within which you can remit contributions. You can go to the nearest bank, that is KCB, Equity, National Bank, and deposit directly to our accounts. But since we went digital, I'll encourage our members to pay through the SIM toolkit, the M-Pesa, that is. You can go to your M-Pesa, pay bill, enter the NHIF business number, which is 200-222, enter the account number. In this matter, Phyllis, is the national ID of the member. And I wish to re-emphasize this point. Many a times we get calls whereby members have erroneously used their NHIF smart card number to make contributions. For the purposes of ensuring that you remit correctly, the account number is your national ID of the person who is remitting. And of course, you'll enter the monthly premium. For self-employed persons, every month the remittances are 500 shillings. If you are remitting for 2 months, it's 1,000. For 3 months, it's 1,500. Then you'll enter your PIN and remit. Automatically, it will update in our system. It's also important for members to know that they can also remit accruing penalties through the SIM toolkit. You go to M-Pesa, pay bill number, which is 200,222, enter your account number, enter your national ID, but in this case, for matters penalties, you will add the letter Y at the end of the ID. And for this matter, penalties for self-employed persons are 250 shillings per month. So if you defaulted for 2 months, for example, you'll be able to pay 500 shillings, which is liable, enter the PIN number, and automatically NHIF will update our database on your contributions.
Okay. And I'm imagining people would wonder, how do I know how much am I supposed to pay? So why don't you highlight on 21101, the USSD, and my app on checking of status?
Very true. It's very important for our members to know their remission or contribution history, so that they're empowered to remit contributions up to time. For members who subscribe to the NHIF Self-Care, we provide a portal whereby members can be able to check their contribution history. And the beauty with that portal, it gives you the outstanding late contributions and the accruing penalties. It also provides you with an option of making direct payments to your account through M-Pesa. For those of our members who do have the commonly referred to Mulika Mwizi phone, the feature phone, what needs to be done, the member can send a text message to 21101. I repeat, 21101. Type the following. Type ID, leave a space, and enter the actual ID of the member. You will receive a prompt reply indicating your full names, card number, and the payment history. Yeah.
Okay. D is asking, why would I go to outpatient and still pay more despite having NHIF card? What does NHIF cover? If I'm going for outpatient, so why am I topping up? Some hospitals ask some members to top up.
D, first of all, let me start by apologizing. It is illegal for a provider who is empaneled to ask you for a top-up for outpatient services. You are encouraged to visit any of the NHIF offices, and we are talking for about 100 branch offices, and report the same to the branch manager or the quality assurance officers, who are empowered to investigate and take a remedial action. Now, what is important, members must be aware of the scope of cover for outpatient services, which I mentioned earlier on, which includes, among others, drug administration and dispensing, consultation, preliminary radiological examinations, guidance and counseling, family planning services, preliminary surgical procedures, that is suturing and dressing, among others. Yeah.
And the issue of medicine?
It is also there.
Part of what we are discussing.
Drug administration and dispensing, yes, as per the Kenya Essential Package of Health. Yeah.
So basically, our members, if they choose an outpatient facility, then they are not supposed to.
They are not supposed to top up. Yeah.
Or buy drugs.
Or buy drugs.
So I think the emphasis is, if someone has gone to a facility, an outpatient facility, and they are told to buy drugs or they are told to top up, then they should communicate to us.
Yeah, they should immediately write to customer care at nhif.or.ke, or alternatively go to the nearest point of service, either branch or Huduma Center, and report the same.
Okay. Ras is asking if he wants to register his parent. What is the process of registration? What documents does he need to append?
Ras, nowadays registration has been demystified. The simplest thing to do is to dial star 155 hash from your phone or from the phone of your parents, and proceed and register them. Alternatively, you can go to the NHIF website, that is www.nhif.or.ke. There's a portal for registration, online registration. you can proceed and register your parents online.
Okay. Then Tumi is asking for clarification. He said the recent update from the branch, I think one of our branches, is that if you have penalties for less than, let's say, 5 months, you have not updated at the time of admission. So you are a defaulter and you've been admitted. So I think a branch has said that the card cannot be used for hospitalization. If today I'm admitted, from I think what he's saying, and I'm a defaulter, can I top up on the spot and use the card?
Thank you, Tum. That is a very valid question. Remember, we do run a social scheme whereby the young support the old, the rich support the poor, the healthy support the sick. When we are talking of social insurance, we are talking of pooling of resources, whereby unfortunately, if you are admitted today, the entire country of Kenya will fundraise to cater for your medical bill. Remember, there is the Swahili adage that says, asiyekuwapo na lake halipo. It will be unfortunate for you to only want to access NHIF services at the point of being admitted in hospital. I'll also emphasize the provisions of the NHIF Act, Section 16 and 15, which talks on registration and membership. The definition of a member, as per the NHIF Act number 9 of 1998, is one who has remitted contributions up to date. That is a member of regular and good standing. In your case, at the point of admission in hospital, you are not a member of NHIF because your contributions were not up to date. And as such, unfortunately, you are not entitled to receive services. My advice would be to you, kindly make sure you make prepayments so that you do not end up being penalized for not making payments, so that you can continue enjoying the 12 benefit packages that NHIF administers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that one is taken. So what is the process of adding a spouse or a dependent?
Yeah, once again, the process of adding a spouse to the NHIF database is very simple. You need to visit any NHIF point of service, that is the branch offices, or Huduma Center for that matter. Complete what is known as an amendment form, which is known as NHIF 26. Attach the supporting documentation of the amendment you wish to undertake. For insertion of a spouse, you need to attach a marriage certificate or an affidavit from a registered notary or commission of oath. For dependents, for children under the age of 6 months, you need to attach a birth notification for the first time. For children over the age of the 6 months, it is a requirement you attach a copy of the birth certificate to support your amendment request.
Okay, what of cases whereby someone has a child and they just joined college? Can they access NHIF through their parent? Or do they pick another card?
For children who are over the age of 18 years and actively in a government-recognized institution, a university, college, TVET, and others, NHIF is obliged to cater for them up to the age of 21 years. In the unfortunate event these dependents fall ill, it is a requirement that you adduce documentary evidence to support the same. By documentary evidence, we are referring to, one, an ID issued by the institution where the student is. They need to attach a letter from the institution indicating that this is a bona fide student in this institution, and even receipts for payment of school fees for that institution. Yeah.
Okay. So Quest is asking, I was once in your offices and I had a fractured hand that required urgent fix. But I had an appointment at Karen Hospital and NHIF declined. I think we just paid for the bed. So he was, I think, admitted in Karen and NHIF just paid for the bed. So he's claiming, he's stating that he has never used his NHIF card. So he's feeling like he has been conned because Britain came and paid the rest of the bill. So how does the card work vis-a-vis, if you're in Spakava, vis-a-vis facility that you visit?
That is a very valid question. The question that would want to know is that for purposes of the surgical packages at Karen Hospital and the contract C facilities, we could have catered for them. But remember, our package is capped. For cases like him, and from what I gather, he had a broken arm, and which we say very sorry. At the point of breaking the arm, and if he were to undergo a surgical procedure, then NHIF was obliged to pay. But if he was going there for matters of review, as he addressed it, we do not have Karen Hospital offering outpatient services or capitation. Remember, capitation is administered in Contract A, government facilities, Contract B, which are faith-based institutions, and low-cost Contract C facilities that have subscribed to our packages. So, unfortunately, Karen has not subscribed to the capitation package, and as such, the member was obliged to pay. So, if had he gone to the other facilities that subscribe to our packages and having selected those facilities of choice, he could have been attended there.
Okay. And these facilities are in our website.
Correct.
Yeah. So Mwenda is asking, so can I get assistance in changing facility if the NHIF app is not working?
At the moment, choice or change of facility is only done online. We do experience some system downtimes, but our team is equal to the task. The system is working perfectly. Unless the member has not updated his cell phone details in NHIF, by which I'll request him to do an email to customercare@nhif.or.ke or visit any of the NHIF branches to update the cell phone details in our database.
Okay. Mina is asking, do you offer insurance package similar to private insurance? I think he's asking, do we have the enhanced for individuals?
Mina, thank you. Currently, our scheme is limited to only state employees, that is National Police Service, Kenya Prisons, government parastatals, universities, and others. So at the moment, we have confined the enhanced package to those cadres of state employees.
Okay. So Wilson is saying he's a civil servant, and he was supposed to pay for an X-ray that was charged at 1,800. So he's asking, is he supposed to pay for an X-ray when he's a civil servant? The hospital is, I think, Jotam in Mombasa.
Wilson, let me start by apologizing profusely on behalf of NHIF. Civil servants are catered for comprehensively. When I state comprehensively, it is walk in, walk out without paying a single cent. Under capitation, the facility of choice is required to offer preliminary radiological examinations like X-ray and others. I'll humbly request Wilson to visit the NHIF Mombasa office and raise the same with the branch manager and the quality assurance officers. He'll be able to be attended to comprehensively. Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of questions. Members are not understanding how come under the super cover we are not able to access dental and optical. So what is the explanation? Why are civil servants accessing dental and optical and not the super cover?
I want to issue a clarification. It's not that they are not able to. Under the super cover, members can access the dental package, that is consultation services and tooth extraction in Contract A, that is government facilities. Under the enhanced cover, the dental and optical cover is slightly enhanced. Apart from consultation and tooth extraction and amalgam filling, they have other services that come with it. For example, prophylaxis, which is known as full mouth scaling. We also have fillings and, of course, other services. Under the optical cover, under the national scheme, members are entitled to consultation for purposes of prescription. Consultation includes eye checkup for purposes to establish whether the member is ailing from any ailment. But the good news is that under also the optical services, under surgery package for issues relating to the eye, ophthalmology, we cater for them comprehensively under the surgical package. So members should be assured that both optical and dental are catered for in a national scheme, and they are also catered for comprehensively under the surgical package. Yeah.
And what is the procedure of payment if I want to pay on my top up? What is the procedure of payment? I think that you had mentioned, but I think for someone else was.
Yeah, I'm seeing even my friend from Bama still asking me that the people at Bama Market are requesting whether they can make payments in installments. I want to tell Kenyans this afternoon that NHIF is your listening partner. You can make contributions kidogo kidogo. Steve, ukiwa pale Bama, we realize that it's a tall order kupata shilingi 500. Wewe lipa 100 yako kila wiki. At the end of the month, you'll have paid 500 shillings and you'll be entitled to services. So don't burn the midnight oil. Kidogo kidogo hujaza kibaba. Members are invited to make installmental payments until they top up their premiums at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And someone else is asking, how many dependents can you have on one card? If I have 15 children, can I have them all under one card?
Yes, at NHIF, for the super cover, we recognize that children are a blessing from God. So long as you can produce documentary evidence that these are your legitimate children, NHIF will be obliged to capture the same in our database. And when we are talking documentary evidence, you must produce a valid copy of a birth certificate that is issued by the Registrar of Persons. And I want to remind our membership that our NHIF database is linked with the Registrar of Persons through the integrated registration database. So we can always compare notes with the Registrar of Persons when we are updating our systems.
Okay. Then I'm seeing Patty. Patty is a very consistent follower of our engagement. She's asking, can ordinary members pay for enhanced?
Patty, as I indicated, the scope of cover for the enhanced package is limited to state employees, and it is the state that caters for them. There are some members through an arrangement NHIF has with the Kenya Association of Retired Officers, acronymed CARO, and former parliamentarians, FOPA, whereby retirees of government can join CARO and their children can pay for them contributions. That one is acceptable. Yeah.
And what of these cases whereby members visit facilities and probably they're accessing a specific package like surgery, and they're told they have to pay 6 months in advance?
We have had such instances, but I want to clarify that it is important for members to pay upfront, because remember, the contract that NHIF has signed with facilities is that facilities should submit claims within a period of 90 days. From submitting up to payment. And sometimes, beyond those days, it becomes a challenge because we realize that the membership has elapsed, and such, it puts facilities at a point of disadvantage because they are unable to process claims. What we are saying, it's good to make prior payments, because as I indicated, payment of facilities for the claims submitted is up to a point of 90 days, and they have a period of 30 days within which to submit claims. So it is good to pay upfront.
So someone is asking, they had chosen a facility initially. So when we were doing choice of facility, they didn't change because they knew they're going to use the facility. They don't want to change their facility. So is it still within that facility? I had chosen initially. Now give me an example.
You were previously at, for example, Mariakani.
Yes.
And in February this year,
yes,
NHIF put an advertisement in the print media telling members to select facilities of choice. The advert that went out in February, and which was also repeated in February and in April and May, was for fresh choice of facilities. When we say fresh, ni kuanza upya. Kila mtu achague upya. Remember, the purposes of also the exercise was cleanup of the NHF database. And the cleanup was to be complete when members selected facilities afresh, kuanza upya. Yeah.
Okay, Caesar is also asking, my outpatient facility level 3 charges me cash with an explanation that I have exhausted my daily allowance. Is there a daily allowance for the facilities, and can I change my outpatient facility? For example, if you've just chosen and you've closed the period, capitation period, there are people who get to facilities and they realize they don't offer medicine or they're making them pay extra. So if you want to change within that capitation period, what do you do?
Choice of facility is done quarterly. And what I normally encourage members is that to be forearmed is to be forewarned. Before you select a facility of choice, do your homework well and establish that the facility is well equipped, it has infrastructure, it has medication, and it will be able to serve you comprehensively. In the unfortunate event you select a facility of choice and you feel that they are offering suboptimal services, it is important also to notify NHIF by visiting any of the NHIF offices and bringing it to the attention of the management of the same, so that we can take remedial measures. But having said that, you can select a facility of choice at any given time, but it will only be applicable after the end of the quarter. Yeah. Yeah.
Idris is asking, if he pays for a full year and he just registered, how long does it take him to access the card?
Very important question. At what point in time do you access services after you register for the very first time? Beatrice, the gestation period or waiting period for the super cover is 60 days or 2 months, whichever comes first, after which you'll be liable to benefits.
Okay. So someone else is asking, what of the cases where you have a foreigner in your card? You're checking and you see people that you don't know about as dependents. What do you do?
One, it is important in event you have the so-called foreigners in quotes who are captured in your database to raise the issue with NHIF. That is a red flag, and it's tantamount to fraud. It's important to visit the nearest NHIF office and record a statement, because it's a criminal offense for people to be sneaked into your card without the principal members' knowledge or authority. We sincerely apologize, but bring it to the attention of the NHIF. We shall investigate to the root cause and prosecute such people who take advantage of the system.
Okay. Waidesh is asking, my friend has cancer and renewed her membership in January, paying in full. Unfortunately, you refused, you is NHIF, refused her chemotherapy treatment, claiming she had exhausted, yet she had just renewed. What is your take for terminally ill patients, and what is this about exhausting?
Waidesh, first of all, let me apologize from NHIF, and secondly, as I indicated, the benefit package for oncology has limits within itself. And as I indicated, for first-line cancer, members are entitled up to 6 sessions, whereby NHIF is obliged to pay 25,000 shillings per session, up to a total of 150,000. For second line, for complex or secondary cancer, NHIF is obliged to pay 150,000 up to a maximum of 4 sessions. What I'll want to tell Waidera is that in event you patronize government facilities, we have a provision whereby in event you feel you end up exhausting, we can bend backwards and accommodate additional requests for chemotherapy or radiotherapy. But in event you patronize high-end previous facilities, it also comes with its additional costs. We may not be able to cater for you comprehensively. Otherwise, with our package, and which was scientifically done, the amount that we do cater for can cater for treatment comprehensively in government and faith-based institutions. Yeah.
Joshua is asking a very valid question. He's asking if a whole family is sick, if you are 2 or 3 people who are sick, and we are in hospital at the same time. He's saying he was refused. There were 2 or 3 members of his family, and they were using the same card, and he's saying he was refused. He was told not to use the card. Are there such instances, and what is supposed to be done?
We have no limits. If in the unfortunate event the entire family falls sick, and the feelings they can happen, the instances of food poisoning or other pandemics that can cause the entire family to be afflicted, we have no limitation towards the entire family falling sick. What is there are some limits, like for the radiology package, whereby members are entitled to 2 MRIs per card, same case to CT scan and others. But for inpatient treatment, there is no limit kwa kulazwa kwa ward. They could all be admitted in the hospital at the same time. Yeah.
Wilson is asking, is he supposed to pay for X-ray and is a civil servant?
No, Wilson, many apologies once again. You're entitled to receive comprehensive cover. Walk in, walk out without paying a single cent. Yeah.
So in such cases, what does he do? Because he's saying they had to pay. The facility made them pay.
Kindly get in touch with the nearest branch office, bringing them to the attention that you are co-charged in the facility. They will take action. They will sanction the said facility. Yeah.
Then what of cases whereby someone has chosen a facility and the capitation period is over and you're accessing the facility only to find that it has been closed?
One, remember, it is a requirement that you select a facility of choice. And what we say during the capitation is a continuous process. Every quarter, unless you change the facility, is when you need to select afresh. Otherwise, you will continue benefiting from the same facility unfettered. Yeah.
So someone is asking about penalty. How does he know he has a penalty? He has decided to pay. So how does he know? You
can query our system by sending a text message to 21101, and the composition of your text message should be ID, leave some space, type the actual ID number, and send. Alternatively, if you subscribe to the NHIF Self-Care, you can go to the payment status and query your status if your payments are up to date. The Self-Care platform will tell you precisely if you have any outstanding late contributions and the accruing penalties. Yeah.
I also need to clarify or emphasize, when you're paying for penalty and you also have monthly remittances, if you don't put the Y, if you don't separate your penalty and your monthly remittances, then definitely it goes to your monthly remittances.
Correct.
So you are still in the red.
Correct. It is important. The system can only recognize penalties by adding the alphabet Y when it comes to your national, to the account, which is the national ID. You add letter Y to indicate that you are paying for outstanding penalties. Yeah.
Okay. There are also cases whereby someone is asking if they can upgrade. I think there's people want the enhanced package. It looks very attractive. Now the question is, how is the enhanced different? I would want you to emphasize on the issue of the employer having topped up. And if we are individuals, can we come as a group? Me and you form a circle or a group, and then we can pay to NHIF as an enhanced group?
At the moment, the law bars NHIF from accepting enhanced packages from individuals or chairmans, but for members, that is employees of the state organs, parastatals, government agencies, universities, they are welcome to join NHIF. Perhaps in future, if the law is amended, such cases may be considered, but at the moment we are limited in scope, unfortunately.
Then I've seen a lot of questions on Linda Mama.
Yeah.
How do you register for Linda Mama, and can you access it in any other facility other than a government facility?
You can register by Linda Mama also by dialing *155 hash and registering on the same. And Linda Mama is available in faith-based institutions and low-cost institutions that subscribed to the same package. You remember our package is willing buyer, willing seller. We have faith-based institutions that do administer Linda Mama and private hospitals. For the same, you can go to the NHIF website. Facilities that offer Linda Mama are captured there. Depending on your location or county of choice, you can be able to view them. Yeah.
And how do you add dependents online? You remember now, because of COVID, you're encouraging people not to visit the offices. How do you...
At the moment, adding dependents online is not possible because, one, there are some documents that are required. One, a copy of the national ID of the principal member. In event of adding a spouse, we also need a copy of the spouse ID. For children under the age of 6 months, we need a copy of the birth notification. For children over the age of 6 months, we need a copy of the national ID. There is an amendment form through which a member will indicate the requested changes. Thereafter, the member needs to sign the form to affirm that the information that he has provided is true to the best of his knowledge. Online updating of dependents is not possible. So we will encourage our members to go to any of our service points or Huduma centers to update the same. Yeah.
Then Ben is asking, hello NHIF, how does it take to be, what does it take to be a member of Supercover?
Oh Ben, welcome. Being a member of Supercover is very simple. You can dial *155 hash from the comfort of your feature phone or download the NHIF my NHIF self-care platform from either Android store or Apple store, and you can be able to join to be a member of NHIF. Alternatively, you can go online and click the registration portal, whereby we've made a provision for online registration. Yeah.
And David Mogaka is asking, does NHIF cater for scanning?
David, the good news is that we do cater for scanning. Yeah. What needs to be done, go to the healthcare facility of choice, and they'll put in an online pre-authorization request. Based on the need of medical necessity, our team will pre-authorize. Yeah.
Edgar is asking, if you visit a facility, you're sick maybe, and you visit a facility on 9th or 10th, most of the time the cards are red because the employer maybe has not remitted by that time. So what happens?
Edgar, I wish to demystify that, because the time due within which an employer can submit contributions is on or before 9th. Our system is configured in such a way that after 9th is when the card becomes red. So before 9th, you can equally access services. Yeah.
Pat is asking, tell us why we cannot access that Supercover. The members are understanding Supercover is the enhanced scheme. Yeah, they're entitled to, members can access Supercover. And it is very broad. They can access the 12 packages that I mentioned earlier on when the show started, including emergency evacuation, overseas treatment, drug and substance abuse, and others. Naftali is asking, what happens when a name is missing in the list of people to be attended in outpatient hospitals despite choosing the facility? When a name is missing from the list of provided to the facility or from the online portal, it is indicative that the member never selected that facility as his facility of choice. He needs to move quickly with speed, dial *155 hash if he's never selected a facility, and proceed to select that facility as his facility of choice. Grace is saying, I noticed the outpatient facility I chose is different from the one I was registered. Grace, let me apologize, because NHIF does not interfere with choice of facility. We humbly request that you get in touch with the office. It is
erroneous that you are capitated in the wrong facility, our team will investigate and be able to respond to you appropriately.
Okay. Then Pius is asking, what do I need to add my 7-month baby to NHIF card?
Pius, it's very simple. You need to make a copy of the birth certificate, a copy of your national ID, and fill in an NHIF amendment form at any of our branches. You can also download the amendment form from the NHIF website and fill and submit to any of our service points.
What about checking status? I'm seeing a lot of questions about checking status, and I believe with the NHIF app, we are safe with the USSD and the app.
Very true.
So I'm seeing a lot of questions about status. I want you to re-emphasize about the status, checking of status.
Checking of status is very easy. You can use the USSD platform whereby you send a message to 21101. I repeat, 21101. The contents of the message will be: type in the prefix ID, leave a space, type the actual ID number. For those of you who are blessed to own a smartphone, either Android or Apple Store, you can go to those stores, download my NHIF application. There is a portal on the application known as Payment Status. You can be able to view your payment status, the dependents, pre-authorization requests, and the benefit packages that we do administer, plus many more other services. Yeah.
Someone else is asking, they are taking care of their grandchild. So the question is, they are asking, how do they bring them on board? Can they bring them on board to their card?
It is very possible. They can only bring them on board in the unfortunate event of the demise of both parents. They need to acquire the legal instruments of guardianship by going to the Ministry of Labor, Gender and Youth. They have an office called the Social Secretariat. They have a welfare officer who deals with the children matters. They need to obtain letters of guardianship from the Child Welfare Office, which are legal instruments that are recognized by NHIF. With those, we shall be obliged to capture them as your dependents in the card.
Okay. So we are winding up. I think we've done more than 1 hour. So probably a few things you need to emphasize as we close down. Remember, we still have our team online and they're still responding to your questions as we wind up. Most importantly, change of facility, choice of facility. We've been doing this every week, but it's also a part of, it's a way of educating our members. Please emphasize about change of facility, choice of facility. And if you choose a facility, now we've gone to the next level. If you choose a facility and it doesn't have medicine or outpatient, what does the member do?
Very important. As I conclude, first of all, let me say that choice of facility is a continuous process. Members are encouraged, in the event they've not selected facilities, to proceed and select facilities of choice by dialing *155#. For change of facility, they can also dial *155# or use the online platform, that is my NHIF in Google or Play Store, and proceed and select the facilities of choice. Remember, at the end of each quarter, NHIF provides a window period within which members can select facilities. So take advantage of the window period whereby you can select a facility of choice. The other item that Phyllis requested me to demystify relates to
medicine or outpatient.
Medicine or outpatient, and we sincerely apologize. Sometimes we do get complaints that some of the empaneled providers indeed do not supply medicine. And what we are telling our membership is kindly report such errand facilities to the quality assurance officers who are available in any of our branches and the branch manager. Finally, I'll conclude by first of all thanking you for joining me and remind you, if it's your first time, to like our Facebook page and turn on the notification platform. Above all, your health is your wealth. So I'll encourage members to continue subscribing to our benefit packages, and we are your trusted listening partner. Have a blessed week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. God bless.
Okay. So as we conclude, I want to also emphasize that the need to add dependents. Let's not add dependents when we are when we have our dependents admitted. So what is most important is just to ensure that your dependents are on your card. And once you add your dependents, there's a limit of 28 days. You cannot access services for the dependents for 28 days. So it is important to have your dependents on the card. I also want to emphasize that if you have issues, if you get a message stating that you visited a facility and you have not visited a facility, kindly just visit a branch, Huduma Center, call us, or you can write an email to complaints@nhif.or.ke. It has been actually 1 hour, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. We've done longer than we normally do. We'll see you next month, but continue engaging our team. We have a big team that is online just to sort you out, just to answer questions. Bear with us when we don't answer, but we are still online and we'll keep answering. I've been your host. My name is Phyllis Nyakiba. I'm the head of regional marketing. And Osoro?
My good names are Gilbert Mugambi Osoro. I serve as manager public education at NHIF.
Okay. Thank you so much and see you next month.
God bless.
God bless.